our solution is embedded within the Microsoft Dynamics GP framework. Some of the essential process manufacturing modules that you can see: R&D, laboratory, formulation, batch production, quality, inventory, costing, compliance, and traceability. And we have some advanced modules, some MPS, MRP, and mobile warehousing. BatchMaster manufacturing solution, the formula and the packaging specs are managed independently. So basically, you could have a team of product developers developing multiple levels of formulas, while your packaging designers can develop multiple levels of bills of material. And then you marry the formula spec to the packaging spec to create the finished goods spec. And since they're separate entities, a change to a common formula can easily update all of its related finished goods. And this structure really reduces the number of records that you have to manage in the system. The characteristics of the ingredients are used in calculating the overall nutritional and physical characteristics, or the label claim of the formula. Raw material costs plus labor costs are used in estimating the finished goods up front during product development. QC and SOPs that get embedded within the formula itself. After rolling up a formula's ingredient property values, the system can alert you to the formula when it exceeds a certain target property values. And then you could take advantage of the system's dynamic formulation capabilities to perform what-if scenarios based on certain weights and volumes to ensure that the label claims are met. And you can compare current previous versions of formula or compare with other formula specifications. And you could always roll back to the last active approved formula. And this is where multiple product developers can work simultaneously on a baseline formula, and they could submit their version for management approval. So we use some established workflow and alert messaging capabilities in the system to kind of expedite the overall approval request process, and it's across one or more managers. And as I noted, you have embedded QC tests. So those embedded QC tests can be checked by your quality managers when they receive the specification. There's estimated formula costs based on the raw material costs and the labor costs, and those can be checked by your finance managers. And at the bottom line is when it's approved, it's ready, it's active at a certain date, and it's ready for production. To create a batch production job, you could use your desktop, and we actually have a mobile device that you could use to manage batch jobs as well. And simply selecting a finished good specification, you could create a batch ticket. And you basically start off with a baseline specification that can be modified. And if it is modified, we're going to capture any of the deviations for audit purposes. But the system's going to automatically allocate inventory for the batch job based upon the inventory's characteristics, and that could be the potency, expiration, and other variable characteristics. And as a matter of fact, these variabilities may alter the batch job specifications, so the system's going to have to deal with that. The consumption of the pooled lot controlled inventory and any consumables at the product line can be recorded by the user, and that could be done on the desktop using a printout report that's produced when a batch job's released, or you could do that on a mobile device as well. And for selected items, pooled inventory can be automatically backflushed and recorded by the system, so that speeds up the whole entire process as well. And upon closing a batch job, the actual batch job yields are entered and validated along with close times. So management will have accurate production metrics. As you can see, you could use mobile device not only to pull ingredients and packaging, but it could store any balances back into raw material and packaging inventory, as well as the finished goods and intermediate. Now, there's a concept of super batch, and it's going to take the complexities out of creating, linking, scheduling the right number of dependent batch jobs. So it gives you some better visibility and control over the jobs and the dependencies. So, for example, the system consolidates the demand for certain finished goods and automatically backschedule the production of an intermediate that feeds different formulas. Or you could backschedule a common formula that's used to fill multiple packaging configurations. Now, above and beyond the basic supply and demand reports that we offer, we do have MPS, MRP, and APS modules. So MPS allows you to make some better informed decisions about what production orders should be generated, how much you need to make, when to make them. The APS manages batch jobs at a more granular level, and that's at specific dates and times. It gives you better control over the production lines that the batch jobs run on, add in some changeover and maintenance tasks as well. And then MRP is going to allow you to generate purchase orders that align and are back scheduled to meet the MPS generated production schedule. Another area that's very, very important for production is quality management, and that's going to ensure a continuous flow of high quality products through the plant. So you can go and start at the delivery, vendor delivery. Trailer pulls up. You can check the cleanliness, temperature, let's say, of a refrigerated trailer. Check the documents and the packaging are in order. When you're unloading the goods, you can perform quality tests against the vendor's sample based upon, again, an inspection plan. Once items are stored, they may lose their potency or may break down over time. You want to set up inspection plans, or as we call them, stability tests against the inventory. Not only can you check the on-hand inventory, you can establish checklists and inspections of certain storage areas. For example, you can periodically check the temperature or humidity of a refrigerated storage location. Along the production line, inspect and record the settings of your production equipment. It goes without saying you're going to be doing QC tests within the production line. And then after a batch job's complete, before a customer shipment, you can perform some additional quality tests against a sample of finished goods. So the net, all these quality-related instructions can be informative in nature, like an SOP. They may require just an acknowledgement, while others will mandate the data collection of QC information. So QA has a number of tools to determine whether a batch job needs to be reworked to avoid scrapping an entire batch job. So we can rework. And when you rework and you're going to adjust the batch job, we're going to ensure that the label claims are still met, and we're capturing all the deviations in that particular job for auditing purposes. Now, if QC tests fail, there may be the opportunity here to do some continuous improvement. And that's why we have some GMP transactions that we support: deviation, nonconformance, root cause analysis, and CAPA. And all this information, again, is going to be used, especially if you're in an FDA validated industry. You're going to need that information. And it goes without saying that all the collected quality-related data is going to be trended and analyzed to identify issues with either items or vendors or even storage locations. The application tracks all the lot-controlled inventory within the plant from the time of delivery to the time of shipping. And it's important to note that it mandates the capture of this information, or it will assign a system-generated lot number at the time of receiving or at the time of WIP. And that's for intermediates, co-products, and byproducts as well. Now, you can employ mobile devices to capture the movement of the lot-controlled inventory within the plant. And by doing so, you could really significantly reduce a lot of lot number related errors, as well as you could expedite a lot of these inventory activities as well. Now, if you need to search for a suspect product, we have a graphical mapping inquiry that allows you to quickly perform what we call the bidirectional lot traceability searches. Now you could use the tool so you could quickly perform a product search from a delivery through WIP to customer shipments, or a customer shipment back into WIP, back to delivery, and then look at what other shipments were made out of that production. And the key thing is that the traceability searches can be done in minutes and not days and hours. So it really does exceed today's regulatory mandates, especially if you're doing a food safety certification, whether it's BRC or SQF, for instance. And in addition to the traceability reporting, the system can generate a recall letter for a given product that can be forwarded to your suppliers and customers. And these templates can be customized to the type of recipient. Now, in the unlikely event and you encounter an adverse event, you can capture this information, you can initiate an investigation. Part of the root cause analysis would be to actually employ the traceability map and the recall capabilities in our system.
You can employ smart tablets to execute these warehousing and production activities, and the system will capture time and date stamps and e-signatures. Thanks so much. I hope that gave you some understanding of the concepts that we support.